Separate the real from the fake. See, we got to get back to love. If we get back to love, then that's when we're going to get back to us.
It seems like it's never enough. And what do you say when you're...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of People Empowerment, where we would strive to change the conditions in our community. Today we have a very important guest, and we're going to get to her in one moment. But let me just say that the elections are over with in Buffalo, and we do have some winners and some losers. As a matter of fact, Senator Tim Kennedy has become victorious over his opponent, Betty Jean Grant. Betty Jean Grant fought a tough race, and so did Mr. Kennedy, and it appears that Mr. Kennedy won. So let's appreciate that. Also, Crystal People-Stokes has been victorious over Antoine Thompson, and she retains her position as the legislator for the 141st District. So we must compliment her, congratulate her on her victory, and look forward to her continuing in her work. As it is, the people have spoken. So whoever side you were on, just remember, the people had spoken, and now it's our job to work with the people that have been elected, or in this case, re-elected, and continue to make some progress in Buffalo. With that being said, I am absolutely willing to work with those winners. Now, today's show is very important. We have a very, very important guest. Today we're going to get back into more of the affairs that are going on in the community. Today's guest is Janis Middlebrooks. Her husband was a corrections officer, and he recently passed in 2006. And Mrs. Middlebrooks has been having a very serious problem getting his benefits. So that's where we're going to be here today and talk about what's going on with her and her deceased husband and the benefits that should have been given to her promptly. So, hello,
Hi.
Ms. Middlebrooks. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's my pleasure, absolutely pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be
here.
here.
I'm the people's advocate. We're here to do the business of the people. You are the people. You've certainly been wronged, and perhaps with this venue, we can find a way to make it right. You know, sometimes when you can't get the politicians and the lawmakers to work, then you have to go straight to the people.
That's correct.
And then the people have to speak out. So this is one of those times where we're gonna disseminate the information, then hopefully the people are gonna speak out to you.
Yes.
Now, this is Miss Middlebrooks. Could you tell me your husband's name, who he was, and a little bit about him right quick, please?
His name was William Middlebrooks. He was a correction officer for New York State. He worked at Albion Correction Officer for over 18 years. In January of 2004, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. We dealt with that until he passed away in December 2006. I was with him through the whole thing. I have 3 sons who are well-paying citizens of New York State, homeowners, children, and they helped me through this ordeal. My sister, my family, they've all been helping me get in contact with people trying to get my husband's pension. After he passed away, I notified the New York State retirement system. And at that time, I was told that I was not entitled to his benefits because paperwork was not filed. I was highly upset about it. I felt like I was punched in my stomach after losing my husband. For over 38 years we were together. And to be told that I'm no longer entitled to his pension felt like I was just being thrown away like trash. I called his union rep, and they told me that there was nothing they could do, but they told me there was a law on the books that's called the death gamble law, where I took it as New York State had the right to take the employee's money since the paperwork was not filed, even though they had a spouse. And I was told also that this not happened only to me, it's happened to many others. And that's the sad part about it, because with me, my children are grown and gone. But with others, with children, that's where I really feel the pain. And I feel like I had to be the voice to speak out on this, because it's not right. And for them to do this to me and others, and they're continually doing it. And that's when I read the article in the Buffalo News about the $180.7 billion that they have. I had to pen a letter stating that they have this money because they've taken it from people like me, who had a husband that worked hard every day and was hoping that his family would be taken care of after his passing. And the New York State just said, forget them. This is now our money, and we're gonna do what we want with it. And it's not right. And I've talked to lawyers. They refuse to help me. They say it's hard to fight the state. They're lawyers. I mean, you could find a way to do the right thing to help the widows. It says in the Bible, help the widows and the children.
Certainly.
And that's all I'm asking for, what's right. And
Certainly.
I'm not going to give up. I've written many people, and I told them I'm not going away. You may want me to go away, but I'm not a quitter. And my husband wasn't a quitter. He fought to the end with his cancer, and he didn't complain about it. He did not complain about it. And God knows he's with me now, and he's been with me through this whole ordeal, keeping me strong, because I was never the strong person. He was always the fighter in the family. And God knows, hey, I'm not giving up, because there's so many other people, like I said, with children, and they're taking that money away from them, and they have to raise their family on their own.
I tell you, it brings tears to my eyes.
Yes.
Excuse me, audience, but I feel your passion. I feel your pain.
Thank you.
You know, I do feel it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I understand how injustice works. So I hope my audience will forgive me.
Okay.
And my eyes water sometimes.
Yes.
That's all it is. My eyes just
Yes,
water
I know.
sometimes. It's
God bless
not
you.
necessarily tears, you know, but my eyes do water sometimes. I feel compassion for you. So now I'd like to dissect a little bit of what you said and break
Yes.
into it a little bit, okay? So the first thing I'd like to touch bases with is the fund, the state pension fund.
Yes.
Now you say that the state pension fund has 180 billion
Yes.
and plus dollars in it.
Yes, it does.
And you got that information from the Buffalo newspaper. I have in front of me here an article that you brought me in, and it's from the Buffalo News, and it's dated August 16th. And it says the state pension fund hits a record high. And it says that DiNapoli states that Thomas DiNapoli, he's the comptroller,
correct.
and he states that there's $180.7 billion dollars in this fund. And what you sit here and you telling me and you telling the audience
That's
today
correct.
that a lot of that money is the money from you and widows like you whose funds have been snatched from you
Yes.
for certain technical things that didn't take place or documents that wasn't submitted, although your husband worked 18 years.
Had me as his beneficiary on everything.
And now, and the reason they stated to you was because you didn't file the paperwork. Now, okay, now, right on the 16th, when you read this paper, August 16th, and it said, DiNapoli said that it was this $180 billion.
Yes.
Then I see here also from information that you submitted to me, you brought in today, that you immediately sent a letter to Assemblywoman People Stokes.
Yes, I
You sent
did.
that same day. And you elaborate that you were reading an article in the paper. DiNapoli stated there's 180 billion, and that you were inclined to believe that you yourself and people like you and spouses of the partners that they work for. Also, there's many that this has been happening to,
Yes.
that this money has been literally taken from you
Snatched.
guys' hands and from your kids' mouths
Yes.
and put into this incredible fund. It has 180.7
Yes.
billion, not million,
Billion.
billion with a B,
Billion.
dollars in it. Well, that's an incredible amount. And the reason that they gave you, again, let's be clear, is because they said the paperwork wasn't submitted.
That's
Now, if I
correct.
just run through the paperwork right quick, you said that you went and you looked through all your husband's things,
Yes.
all his letters and whatever, and that even though you did find mail that was unopened, you never found a letter about this
No.
this money.
Not one.
And then what you asked the people for was you asked them to send you a copy of that information,
That's
correct?
correct.
Janice? And what they sent you here was, I have the letter, and it's dated February 2nd, 2006. And it says, encloses an estimate of various allowance available to you on your approved Section 507A disability retirement. It goes further to say that you must select a method of payment, completing the enclosed option by March 6th of 2006.
That's correct.
Now, and what you're saying is that, to your knowledge, your husband never received that
Right.
upon you going through his things. You
Right.
never received any information like this.
No.
Okay, now, at the point that you didn't receive this information, now you contacted them and they said what?
They said since they didn't get the paperwork, they have the right to pick what option they want.
Out of the 3 options,
Yes.
right? That further go further on. Okay. Now they've got option 0, which the maximum lifetime retirement allowance is $1,279. They also have a joint allowance. This option provides a reduced retirement allowance of $900 or so per month. It is based on your life expectancy and expectancy of your beneficiary. That would have been you. This is to your husband. And if you die before your beneficiary, your benefits will receive the same monthly allowance for life. If your beneficiary dies before you, all payments will stop at your death. Only one beneficiary may be named, and the beneficiary cannot be changed. So again, that would have been you, and then of course you have the 3rd joint option on here, these different options. But
That's
also,
correct.
I see here it says there is no form of payment to any beneficiary after your death. So now, it seems that they emphasized this. I see you highlighted it because it says if the person dies, basically it's telling you that if the person dies and you haven't submitted this paperwork, that you don't get any money.
Right.
But you clearly told them that you weren't aware of the paperwork and anything.
That's correct.
So now, did you go to lawyers and talk to lawyers?
Yes, I did. And they refused to handle it. They said it's hard to fight the state.
Okay, so then after you went there, who else did you go to and seek out help at that time?
I went to Senator Kennedy.
Well, no. I mean prior, right when this happened in 2006. He wasn't the senator then.
Okay.
Who was the senator then? Who did you go to? Well, Antoine Thompson, did you say?
That's correct.
Okay, so now you said that you went to Antoine Thompson and you about this. Now,
Yes.
how did Antoine Thompson try to help you?
Well, he did prepare a bill on my behalf, but he wasn't able to follow through with it because it was towards the end of his term.
He lost the election.
Yes.
So he wasn't able to.
And after that, Grisanti came in, and he continued it.
So now, wait a minute. So now let me understand this. There was a bill prepared by Thompson. It was submitted to the Senate.
Yes.
And then he lost the election. But you reached out to Grisanti and he said that he was following up on it.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
So now
Then
Thompson
he was
started.
no longer in my district, and then it was turned over to Kennedy.
Okay, Grisanti was no longer in your district, so he turned it over to Kennedy.
Yes.
Okay, so now you talked. So Antoine left out. Grisanti says you're no longer in his district, and so basically the bill is just sitting there
in committee.
In the Senate.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, you told me that you reached out to Mr. Kennedy and to Crystal People-Stokes some years ago.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
And could you tell us how long ago that was? You reached out to Senator Kennedy and Legislator Peoples.
That's been about 3 years now.
Initially?
Yes.
And when you reached out to them, what did they say?
They said they would work with me, see what they could do.
So I'm assuming you reached out to People-Stokes first, and then Senator Kennedy. Is that how it worked?
Yes.
Okay, she was in longer. Okay, so you reached out to both of them. They said they would try to help you.
Yes.
But nothing happened.
Nothing's happened. They
All
just
right.
told me they're working on it.
They said that they're working on it. Okay, they're working on it now. So in other words, let's get this straight, audience out there, because she's gonna need the people's help. She's gonna need the people's help. The people, you're gonna have to reach out to your senator, reach out to your legislator, start writing letters and such. So this is how we start this, by letting the people gain knowledge of what's going on. So now you reached out to the senator and the legislator. They said that they would work on it. And now to date, 3 years to date, still nothing has happened.
Nothing's happened.
Okay, now on the 16th, just to put this in chronological order. Now, on the 16th, when you saw this, you sent a letter to Crystal People-Stokes that very same day again,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And you asked her for that help, right?
Yes.
Now, has she responded to you?
No.
Okay, Crystal People-Stokes has responded to
No.
you. All right, well, let me just say, Ms. Stokes, we know you're in the middle of an election, a very heated campaign to say the least. Now that time has passed, and of course, so hopefully now you can reach out to Miss Janis Middlebrooks, as you see that she is absolutely reaching out to you. I'm sure you can feel her spirit and the earnestness in her heart, just as I can. This woman is suffering. So now, as I understand it, that actually is the legislator's business. That is the senator's business to produce a legislation, to get legislation passed, which helps the community and what's going on in the community, and that it addresses wrongs.
That's what I
and turns wrongs into right.
Into right.
And we would think that our legislator and our senator, the champions of the people, would be out fighting for you.
Fighting.
So again, let's understand that we know you're in the middle of a heated campaign, but the campaign is over. And so now I'm asking that you would reach out to Miss Middlebrooks, contact her, and try to help her forward with this situation now.
Yes, please.
Now, when you talked to People Stokes aide, you didn't talk directly to them, is that right? You talked to the aides.
That's correct.
And now the aides informed you that they were working on it, but the aides also informed you of something else.
Yes.
The aide told you that were this bill to be passed, that this would be a precedent-setting bill,
That's
and it would
correct.
change a lot of things.
Yes.
Now, but the way that you you shared it with me, it seemed that you got a certain negative vibe from that communication as far as it went to them actually stepping forward and venturing out and helping you. So could you please elaborate a little bit on when she told you it would be precedent setting? What did that mean to you from the way she said it?
That it would be hard for them to pass this bill, and there wasn't much they could do.
You also told me, I just like to bring back to your memory, you also told me that the senator said that the aide said that if this were to pass, then what would happen with other people? That there would be what? What would be happening?
Other people would come out the woodwork.
Other people would come out the woodwork to do this, to apply for this.
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to backtrack a little bit too. Now you also said that, all right, let me slow myself down. All right, now I'd like you to bring up the gentleman who was the union rep at the time of the NYSCOPBA, I believe that is.
Okay, the president or the person I spoke with?
Okay, well who was the union rep that you spoke with from the NYSCOPBA?
His name was Gary Arnold.
Gary Arnold.
Yes.
He was the union rep at the time, right, for your husband.
Yes.
And what did Gary Arnold tell you that you could do?
Told me I needed to, in order to change this death gamble law, I needed to get in touch with my legislators to change the law.
Okay, you need to get in touch with legislators to change the law. Now, also, if you remember, you told me that he also told you something else about this not just happening to you, but happening to many people. Could you tell the people out here what he told you about that?
He told me I was not the first one that this has happened to, that there have been many, many more. Many more. And he even threw a figure out, but I can't really remember the figure, but it was in the millions.
It was in the millions?
It was in the millions.
In the millions of what? Of people?
Millions of dollars that they have collected from taking
from taking widows' money?
Yes.
Oh my God, you're breaking my heart, absolutely.
Yes.
From taking widows' money. Now, and that's basically how this fund got to be $180 billion?
That's how I believe it got to be 180.
Now, your union rep, Gary, husband's union rep, told you that this didn't only happen to you, but it happened to many, many other widows.
Yes.
And that they've been taking these people's money. Now, at that time, you told me, I just want to bring it back to your memory, you told me at that time that you asked him, once he shared that information with you,
I did.
that you asked him for a list of the other widows who this happened to. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, tell the people what happened when you asked him.
I asked him, would he provide that information to me? And he said he would, but I never got it. I never heard back from him, and that was it.
So he told you that he would provide that list of the other widows, and that made you feel a little bit better because you would be able to connect with other people like you that this is happening.
That's correct.
Okay, I need you to put her information back up on the screen, please. Her name and her information, Janis, because people, again, it's very important, and too, please excuse the water in my eyes. I'm glad the camera's not on me right now. But now I would reach out and appeal to the people that are hearing this. How many other widows right now are out there that this has happened to? I'm talking to you now. I'm talking to the widows. I'm talking to the widowers, the gentlemen who have had spouses die working for the corrections and police benevolent association and such, and have been denied benefits because their proper paperwork wasn't filed in the amount of time specified, even though they had valid reasons. So what we need for you to do, Buffalo, is we need for everyone in this city, everyone in this area, Western New York, anyone that gets this information, this TV show, if this has happened to you, if this has happened to people that you know, to family members that you know right now, you need to reach out to Janis Middlebrooks right now. You need to reach out to her at her email. You need to reach out to her at her phone number, which you can see on the screen. You need to reach out to her and let her know who you are and what happened to you. Or you can reach out to me, Nate Boyd, at People Empowerment. You can call the phone number, 259-4661, 259-4661, and let me know what happened to you so I can get together with Ms. Middlebrooks and relay it to her. Or you can go to my email, peopleempowerment@aol.com, or you can go to the website, peopleempowerment.apollomediacenter.com, and you can go into the box where it says to leave comments, and you can leave your comment and your information. Now, people, I can tell you out there in Buffalo, this is some serious stuff going on.
It is.
Because you got widows like Mrs. Middlebrooks. It were it not for her family, that her sons, gainfully employed sons, to step up and help her out, God knows what situation she would be in right now. Would she be in a situation like Carol Horn, another police officer who has been abused by the system and is out here living from meal to meal in a horrible situation when she tried to do right and only wrong happened to her? Well, this reminds me of this because through no fault of your own and through nothing your hard-working husband did, who gave his life for the state.
For the state.
For the state.
For the state.
And if they would turn around and do you like this and do other people like this. So now it's important, Buffalo. It's important, Buffalo, that anyone that this has happened to, that you need to reach out to me, Nate Boyd, People Empowerment, or you need to reach out to Mrs. Middlebrooks.
Please.
And share your story, because listen, there's power in numbers.
That's it.
Now, Mrs. Middlebrooks has stated that she went to Kennedy. She went to Peoples, Stokes, asking for help to push to get this legislation back on the table, to get it back off the table, rather, to get it off the table and get it back on the agenda. And so now we would hope with the voices of the people that you would reach out to Senator Kennedy, that you would reach out to Crystal Peoples Stokes, and that you would encourage them to come out and help Ms. Middlebrooks, that you would encourage your senator and your legislature to reach out to Mrs. Middlebrooks and give her an avenue to help her, that you would reach out to say to her, Senator Kennedy, legislator Crystal Peoples, that now you would become the true champions of her cause, and not just her cause,
many others,
but many other widows and many other widowers that are going through the same thing. And then the state touts a balance of $180 billion.
It's like they flaunted in my face.
You got $180 billion, but this woman, you talk about around $1,300 a month that you can't give her for all the dedication and the contributions her husband gave. So again, I feel your pain, and I would hope that the citizens out here in Buffalo would also feel your pain. I would hope that they would reach out and call the number. I would hope that Crystal Peoples Stokes would see this program and they would put pressure on them to do something. Because I believe that it's just a matter of one person in charge saying, let's do this lady right.
That's it.
You know, I would be, it's got to be one person in state government that would say enough is enough. It's got to be somebody out there, elected officials, that would champion the cause of the people. Because I see her tears. I see her tears, and I feel my tears running down my face for the injustice. And so I would say to the citizens of the city of Buffalo, how long do we suffer under injustice? How long do we keep our mouth closed? You see what happens, Janice, if you don't mind, is that sometimes the people have to stand up
and take a chance
to the powers that be. Sometimes the people have to get together and come together, and only when the people come together and speak as one voice can we get changes to occur in our society.
And that's what I've been fighting for.
In other words, if we don't, it'll just be just a bunch of us crying in the wind. It'll be just a bunch of us crying in the wind. So that's why I need people to understand how important this is. Now, on the 30th of last month, The Buffalo News, again, you reached out to them, and again, they printed an article, follow up on DiNapoli's article on the 16th, and on the 30th, they talk about, in everybody's column, and they state the Buffalo News, this isn't me, but it's the Buffalo News in the article on 8/30/14, they state the state retirement system is willingly taking pensions.
No, that's the letter I wrote to this.
Now, it's a letter that she wrote, but obviously, the Buffalo News follows up on this information, and they just don't print anything lightly. Okay? So, you believe me, when they backed up your story, then they confirm that what you're saying is true and that this is true. And so, now the Buffalo News can clearly see that these people are doing you wrong. You got $180 billion. So I would say even to DiNapoli, Mr. DiNapoli, that if you see this presentation, this communication, if someone tells you about it, go to the email site, the website, whatever, that you would also reach out to Miss Middlebrooks. That you would reach out to Middlebrooks and that you would help her in some type of way. I'm telling you, people. Now this is us. It's our opportunity again, once again. When the powers that be won't do what they're supposed to be, then the people have to step up. The people have to get together and they have to come out.
Yes.
The people have, you see what's going on? How many others out there are suffering the same fate that Miss Middlebrooks is suffering right now?
Many.
How many of you are out there that your spouse has given his life for the state, for the police departments, and then turn around and you're denied benefits because they saying some paperwork wasn't filed on time? Well, you're still alive. You're the beneficiary. You should be able to file the paperwork, Miss Middlebrooks.
Thank you.
Why won't you let Miss? It doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't.
And so I absolutely will hope that our legislator, Crystal People Stokes, will take heed to this and will reach out to you. I would hope that Senator Kennedy, that you please would reach out to Miss Middlebrooks and you would help her. I would hope that the powers that be would see this media presentation and would understand what Miss Middlebrooks is going through and that it's not right. So sometimes we have to decide that we're going to do what's right.
That's it.
And sometimes if the laws won't help us effectuate what's right, then we have to change the laws. Legislator, senator. Now, she said that Antoine Thompson created the paperwork, that Crisanti forwarded the paperwork to Senator Kennedy, that is there, it's in committee, it's been tabled. We need to bring it off the table. We need to bring it back on and put it back on the plate. So I'm reaching out to the people that can effectuate change, that can help Ms. Middlebrooks. Help them. And listen, now I got 2 minutes left. I need you to take 1 minute and talk to the people before I close it out. Ms. Middlebrooks, look right into the camera and tell these people what you need to tell them.
I need you to get in touch with your senators, your legislators, and beg them to please pass this bill. Please. It's not only going to help me, it's going to help other families, and pray to God that it never happens to you. I beg you, please, please. My husband worked hard, he earned this, and he's entitled to it. And for them to not give it to me for him, it's a shame. And I thank you.
Everyone, I know you heard that. I mean, I hope you're paying attention.
Thank you.
I hope you got your ears on. I hope you got your hearts on. I hope you got your minds on. How long are we going to let injustice keep going on without us doing something about it? We are the people. We have the power. Ms. Middlebrooks, the power's in our hands. The power's in the hands of the people out there right now to help you. So if you listen to this broadcast, then I hope you reach out and help us, senators, legislatures, listen, and people. Until next time we meet again, this is Nate Boyd from People Empowerment telling you, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. God bless you, Ms. Middlebrooks.
Thank you.
I pray to God that things work out for you and that you get some justice.
God bless you.
I pray that they'll help you.
God bless you. Okay. Thank you.
God bless you.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you.